Kind of go over that interview, and then we're going to go ahead and see how you guys do. Take the opportunity to go over that interview that you did, that you uploaded, and we're going to take the opportunity to see how well you did. We're going to evaluate you as a class. But again, like I said, do not hold back on your rubric. Okay, if we take a look at some of the questions on here, the first one says criteria. The first one says criteria, inclusion required interview question types. Some of you put together 8 questions. Okay, be specific about those 8 questions. What questions would you expect to be asked in an interview? What questions would you expect to be asked? I know in one of my first interviews, I thought I had prepared well, but the question that always got me is, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 2 years? Where do you see yourself? And that's the question that always kind of got me, because I always knew why I wanted to work for that company, because I had researched that company. But where do I see myself in 2 to 5 years? That question used to get me.
What you mean? Be the boss, of course.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but when you're asked that question and you have to come off the top of your head and answer that question, it can be kind of tough, especially when you're young. And it was just one of those that got me, so I had to go back and practice on that question. Where do I see myself in 2 to 5 years? Well, I tied it to my education. I said, well, I see myself getting a master's degree in this specific subject level. I see myself growing with this company. I had to practice that and practice that and practice that, so that particular question would not throw me. As we look over this rubric, it says pre-mock interview questions. Okay, make sure you pull up your questions and you know them well and you're ready to answer them. Okay, the language usage criteria. Okay, does he have command of the facts? Are they articulate? Are they very explanatory, meet standards, or are they not very good at all? Okay, and the only way you do well in an interview is that you know the company, you know yourself, and you know what you're going to do in your future. And you've practiced it. You're very polished at it. Know your resume, because 9 times out of 10 they'll look at your resume that's laying in front of them, and they'll just ask some questions based on your resume. Know that very well. Okay. And part 2 of this mock interview, interviewing experience. Observed and not observed. And an employer can tell right off the bat if you're nervous and you don't know what you're talking about. It's okay to be a little bit nervous, but they can tell right off the bat if you don't know what you're talking about, because some people shuffle. They have these little idiosyncrasies that they do during an interview. They'll, mine was, I used to blink my eyes a lot during my interview. I don't know why. That was one of those little idiosyncrasies I had, that I would blink my eyes during the interview. I had to learn to correct that and look eye to eye with that employer. See, at the time when I graduated in the 1990s, early 1990s, there was a certain criteria for interviewing. You either wore the power blue suit, the gray suit. For your second interview, olive green, no tans, no white. Keep it very standard. You had to be clean shaven, no mustache, no beard, a cut. That was the corporate look. These are some of the things that I was told, but once I got in there for that interview, I struggled how to conduct myself. Nowadays, you have YouTube, you have mock interviews, you have all types of practice that you can get yourself ready for that interview. So look out for employers observing some habits that you may have. Try to correct those habits yourself before you get in there, like twiddling your thumbs. For heaven's sake, do not chew gum. That's a no-no. Come in there confident. When you step in, a handshake. Introduce yourself. Be assertive. This same criteria goes for if you're interviewing to try to get a scholarship. Okay, at this particular time, I'm gonna have you guys just continue to go over that criteria, pull up your interview questions, and in about 10 or 15 minutes, we're gonna start volunteers for an interview to see how well you do. And I want you guys, after they do their interview, I want you to actually use that rubric to evaluate how they did. And at the end of the day, we want to get a thumbs up and a thumbs down and explain why you gave them a thumbs up or a thumbs down based on what you have observed. Some of you have your interview questions already. If you have them in your portfolios or your journals, you can certainly grab that. Yes. I'm sorry. Oh, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. So we're going to take some time to do that this morning, about 15 minutes, going over your interview questions, going over your rubric, and discussing who you want to put up in your group to actually do the interview. Okay. Take your time.